Welcome to our presentation on orthopedic impairments, or OI. Our names are Rosemary Christle-Renaud and Lynn Gollier. Rosemary is completing her first year as a teacher of gifted and talented students. Lynn has just completed her first year as a high school media specialist and is finishing her teaching certification. OI is one of the 13 designated disabilities identified by the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. Some OIs covered are genetic abnormalities like the absence of a limb. Others are caused by disease, injury, birth trauma, fractures, or neurological disorders like cerebral palsy. Our presentation does not include the latter. IDEA defines OI as follows. Orthopedic impairment means a severe orthopedic impairment that adversely affects the child's educational performance. The impairment includes impairments caused by a congenital anomaly, impairments caused by disease, such as poliomyelitis or bone tuberculosis, and impairments from other causes, like cerebral palsy, amputations, and fractures or burns that cause contractions. Simply put, OI is an impairment that prevents a student from functioning normally in their lives and in school.
Injury can result in loss of bone, muscle tissue, or amputation of a limb. Broken bones and burns can lead to damaged muscles or structure. Children may experience trouble using their hands, arms, or legs and may make use of assistive devices and technologies in order to function independently.
OI degenerative diseases can affect a person's motor development. A common degenerative disease found among school-aged children is muscular dystrophy, inherited diseases characterized by progressive muscle weakness. Children may experience musculoskeletal disorders like juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, resulting in OI. OI refers to many impairments. Some students with an OI will need an IEP as it affects how they accomplish their schoolwork or participate in school activities. The particular impact a disability will have on a child's learning depends on the disability and its severity. Children with the same OI can have quite different abilities. According to national statistics, 41,000 children with OI received services in 2017-18. That's 0.06% of the total number of children with disabilities. Does this seem like a low number to you? Remember, in order to receive special education services, the student's disability must adversely affect their educational performance. According to national statistics, 41,000 children with OI received services in 2017-18, 0.06% of the total number of children with disabilities. Does this seem like a low number to you? Remember, to receive special education, the student's disability must adversely affect their educational performance. Because of the varieties of OI, it's challenging to identify universal warning signs. However, the following may be indicators: slouching posture, unsteady gait, chronic discomfort, or a change in behavior. If a student is recovering from trauma, an illness, or injury, these symptoms may signify a problem.
There are myths and confusion about OI. For example, OI is often mistaken for neuromotor impairments, which are caused by damage to or an abnormality of the child's spinal cord, brain, or nervous system. People assume that a person with an OI also has an intellectual disability if the impairment affects their speech or movements.
Other myths are that wheelchair users are confined to their chair or are chronically ill. After transitioning from school, employees with disabilities do better work than those without, and accommodating workers with disabilities costs too much. Accommodations are special privileges rather than necessary for full participation in life. These beliefs and others are far from the truth. An inclusive classroom can benefit all students and help to disprove these myths by giving everyone in the classroom the opportunity to work, play, and get to know each other, those with OI and those without.
IDEA requires teachers to implement a plan for students with special needs and to monitor them. In an inclusion classroom, the teacher should be familiar with their students' IEPs. This helps students achieve their goal to gain confidence in themselves and to function as normally as possible in the general classroom. Teaching students with OI the following tips and strategies about classroom environment, instruction, and attitudes will be helpful. Environment. Principles of universal design will ensure that the classroom is accessible. For example, uncluttered with clear passageways for walkers, braces, or other orthopedic equipment. Furniture, like tables that accommodate wheelchairs, make learning more comfortable. Seating should be near class materials and near the door. Have an emergency exit plan in place. Instruction, extended time for assignments, assisted note-taking, providing handouts, and audio-visual options. Adapted actions instead of raising their hand. Alternative tasks of interest like computer games or special projects during activities that can accommodate a student with OI. Impairment support instruction like age-appropriate fine motor skill activities. Allow adequate time for students to go between classes. Assistive technology, augmented communication with special keyboards, speech recognition or speech-to-type technology, the use of modified writing aids, grip pens, writing boards, record classes or instructions, the use of postural support or a weighted vest for children with upper body impairments. Keep these considerations in mind. Make sure classmates are inclusive of the student with an OI by preparing them and teaching them appropriate behavior. Be aware of the nature of your student's disability and its effects, such as fatigue, chronic discomfort, and share this information with your students. Communicate with professionals and paraprofessionals. Be aware of your own biases and how they influence your responses. Use peer helpers after talking with family members and related staff. Remember, a student with an OI is still a kid. On that level, treat them like any other child. Our references. We've talked a lot about students with OI in inclusive classrooms. How do you think you would best include these students in your classroom? We thank you for listening.